Aha! What's up, defenders? And welcome to One More Sleep. We are less than 24 hours away from our first home game since that win against FC Dallas. That goes back to June the 1st, which seems like it was forever and a day ago. About 3 weeks, but who's counting, right? As you can see, it's just me again. Or is it? I know y'all miss Scarf. I miss him too. He's crazy. He really is crazy. Drove to Austin. I hope he learned his lesson. I love his ambition for doing so, but the execution is just not for me. He'll be taking over the defenders' accounts, though, after today because I am going on vacation. And let me tell you, silly Philly over here has been in dire need of a vacation. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to get right into this episode. But before we do, I'd like to introduce my co-host. That's right. There will be a co-host. We started out with Jonathan Reimer last week on One More Sleep. Or actually, it was this week. I've lost track. We brought in Chris Lafferty to do the Orlando recap. My guest today, or I should say my co-host, not my guest, a man who's similar to me, has his roots in New York. A man who's similar to me, has an East Coast presence about himself, whether he believes it or not. A man similar to me who's been a part of LAFC and has had the same season tickets since 2018. A man who's similar to me has missed hardly or rarely any LAFC home games since 2018. I couldn't be any more vague with my descriptions. So without further ado, defenders, the mouth of the South Bay, J.R. Liebert, the Scarf is back!
Finally, the Scarf has come back from Austin. That's right. I am so happy to be back. Had a wonderful time in Austin and driving a lot. Philly, you mentioned you would be miserable at the execution of it all. Well, the excellence of execution that I am in terms of driving, I now feel like current Bret Hart. Gray, old, haggard, tired. I don't know that I could do it anymore, Philly. I think this is it. I think you guys have all seen, unless it's like up and down the East Coast, because I've never done that one, and I want to do a drive around the South. But I don't want to drive to the South. I don't want to drive to the East Coast. I want to drive just up and down the coast, maybe. Philly, I'm glad to be back, and for the first time in a long time, what is good, defenders? Philly, we got ourselves a good old wooden spoon candidate coming to BMO, and boy, is it good to be back in Los Angeles.
You're a nut. I'm sorry. You're a freaking nut. You drove to Vancouver. Fine. I would say, yeah, screw was loose, but whatever. Fine, so be it. When you alluded to the fact that you were going to drive to Texas, my jaw dropped. I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Why would you waste all that time? Is there much to see? Sure. And also, no, not really. You might have had a couple of nice pit stops. You stopped at a Waffle House in Arizona. But good Lord, man, Austin, the city itself deserves a little bit of time in it. You could have gone to Salt Lick and had yourself some phenomenal barbecue. You could have gone seen some minor league baseball around Rock Express just down the road. You could have taken a tour of the campus of the University of Texas. You could have taken in some of the local bars that are there. I don't even know what's around anymore because it's been a minute. You could have gone to Rainy Street and partied it up around there. You could have done so many more things other than spend 22 flipping hours in a car. Gross.
Now, this is going to be fun for Philly because he's going to find out this fact along with all of you. I absolutely drove to Austin, stopped in Phoenix on my way out, found the birthplace of the original tequila sunrise, which, by the way, does not have almost anything in it that an actual tequila sunrise does. It was called the Biltmore Hotel in Phoenix, where a bunch of presidents have stayed. That was kind of neat, cool stop. Driving through New Mexico. New Mexico is beautiful. Love New Mexico. Did not drive to Austin first, though, Philly. And you know this, my friend. I drove north to Arlington, Texas, where I got to see our beloved New York Metropolitans score in all 5 of the final 5 innings to come back 7-6. And win what at the time was our 7th in a row. It's now 8 of 9 The Grimace experience is in full effect. And then drove down to Austin, enjoyed the game. Look, we looked awful, and I know you guys covered this. We looked awful for about, I'll say 89 minutes or so until Kai Kamara was able to dunk on that dude right at the end. But by the way, great fan base in Austin. It was a really fun experience. I did get to see the stadium lights go down and all green and everything during the goal. Some of the stuff they do is just cornball. I don't know. Some of the stuff I could go without, but that's okay. But Philly, not so dumb anymore, my friend. It was a little bit of a fee to drop your rental car off in Dallas, Texas, and then fly back from Dallas, Texas. So au contraire, my friend, I went to Terry Black's barbecue on Thursday night, hung out with our good friend Sam, and I say our good friend because Sam and her husband Joe are the ones that run 500 level, who take care of all of our merch. So guess what? Business trip. Woo! Hung out with Sam, didn't get to see Joe, went to the Lyndon Baines Johnson Presidential Library and Museum, actually took your advice, my friend, and enjoyed 20-something hours worth of Austin on Thursday, spent a little bit of extra money, and flew back so that was able to enjoy just a little bit. Listen, LA Space FC, how I make my money is no business of anybody else's. But Philly, I just wanted to let you know, and I was holding it until just now so I could see the look of astonishment and surprise on your face. I took your advice and actually enjoyed a day in Austin.
That a boy. Look, the Wright brothers didn't do what they did just so you could sit behind the wheel of a car for that long. Driving sucks. I hate driving. I don't like it when there's traffic. I don't like it when there's no traffic. It stinks. I would rather be in the air for an hour and change and meander around a town. I have no desire to be stuck behind the wheel of a car or a passenger in a car. But nevertheless, we have talked way too much about this. It's good to have you back, my friend. Good stuff. Let's get into this game. This will be the second time that we get to tussle with San Jose. The last time was up in Levi's Stadium in front of a crowd of 43,774, who's counting, where we lost for the second consecutive season by a score of 3-1. But the interesting thing is that game was played on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. That was the last time LAFC lost a game. So we're going in to back home finally against San Jose, where we've got an all-time record of 8 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw against the Earthquakes. All too close if you really want to break it down. San Jose has only won once in Los Angeles, a 2-1 result back September of 2020. And setting the table as it stands.
Philly, crazy stat about LAFC that we are all familiar with. We are on quite the unbeaten run, my friend. I believe it is 9 games that we are now unbeaten, including that 1-1 draw. You want to hear something crazy, defenders, Black and Gold Nation supporters of LAFC? We haven't lost a game since, like May 3rd or so.
4th.
Philly?
I literally just
May
said
4th.
it.
May the 4th. That's right. May
You
the 4th
weren't paying
be with
attention.
you.
I literally
No,
just
I was.
said that.
I was. And it turns out it's to the wooden spoon controllers back in San Jose. That was the last time that we lost a match, Philly. I said it at the start of our One More Sleep when we were doing our last breakdown of San Jose. Beware the trap game, my friend. And it became a trap. We lost 3-1. We looked terrible. They took us out behind the woodshed in a game that was massive for them. Hernan Lopez was supposed to be introduced at halftime just as a mere not as a mere participant in the game, but as a spectator. That's what the word I was looking for. It's a potato with eyes, a spectator. He was supposed to be a spectator. Instead, what did they do? They subbed on their shiny new toy in a 3-1 shellacking of LAFC. Well, since then, you know what they've done, Philly? Absolutely nothing. They're terrible. They're awful. They don't score. They give up tons of goals. There should be no reason why they come into BMO and do anything of the sort to us again.
Well, I'll address a couple of those points, but another interesting stat is the 9-game unbeaten streak that we've been riding in all competitions is the most in LAFC history. And the 7-game MLS streak that we got going on is tied for the second longest in club history. So a lot of really cool things to be proud of. I know the draw in Austin, and many of us were hoping that we'd get the dub, but nevertheless, that was still a good thing. As far as San Jose is concerned, they went on the road. They beat Colorado 3-2. That was their only road win right after they beat us at Levi Stadium. Then they lost every single game thus far. Not a very good team, like you said. Not a very good team at home. Not a very good team on the road. Just not a very good team, period, if you break it down. They are 14th in the Western Conference, 3-13-2, 10 points. Not looking so hot for the Smurf Quakes.
3-13-2 would give you 11 points, just to make sure we're on the right track here. 11 points in 18 matches, Philly. How about their 45 goals?
Oh, yeah. Well, then you have to blame LAFC's PR because that's literally where I pulled that.
No, that's okay. How about their 45 goals against are 5 more than any club has given up in Major League Soccer? How about their minus 18 is 4 worse than any club in Major League Soccer? How about their 11 points is 3 fewer than any club in Major League Soccer? 1-7-1 on the road, 1-6-1 in their last 8. And now they're coming to what has become the fortress again of the black and gold Philly. This is a porous defense that we are allowing to come in to BMO Stadium. I mean, they're giving up goals on goals. I know you want to talk about it. I'm going to tag, there it is. Tag you in, my friend, and let you talk about the goals.
Yeah, real quick. Like, yes, they allow a boatload of goals. There's no question about that. They allow more goals than anybody in the West. That goes without saying. But they do score, Scarf. They have scored 27 goals over the regular season, which isn't all that bad in the grand scheme of things. They don't know how to defend. They can find the back of the net, but they don't know how to defend. And when they miss out on players like Carlos Gruezo, who's going to be out on international break, reuniting with his good buddy Jose Cifuentes, playing for the Ecuadorian national team in Copa America. They're going to be missing out there. Their keeper, JT Marcinkowski, he's going to be out. A lot of other questionable scenarios with their subs. But you know who's not questionable for LAFC finally? David Martinez.
Yeah, there you go. Very excited about this one. Hopefully the back is healed up, Philly.
I mean, yeah, I would say so. I mean, what did we say? He fractured a rib or something? What was
it? Vertebrae. Well, we heard a fractured vertebrae at one point.
Well, yeah, if it was a rib, it wouldn't be his back. Where you go, dum-dum? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, look, last 8 matches for San Jose, 1-6-1. They've given up 2 or more goals in 6 of those 8 matches, including 4 goals in 3 of them, including the Sacramento Republic, 5 goals to the awful NYCFC. They have just not been good recently. And you mentioned it. With all those guys out, with David Martinez coming back, this is not the potent squad that we have seen before. Cade Cowell is not walking through that door anytime soon. We do know the big players, right?
His brother will, though.
That is true. We do know about Christian Espinoza, Hernan Lopez, Jeremy Abobasi, and we'll definitely talk about those guys when we talk about our players to watch. But Philly, a team that gives up this many goals, with LAFC having been clicking on all cylinders, maybe up until the Austin match, but you might chalk up some of that to the heat, to the weather, to the rain, whatever it might have been. I'm liking our chances in this one. I thought the last time we played San Jose, it would be a trap game. Well, this is a differently focused black and gold club that we have seen over these last 9 matches. You mentioned all the good things that we have been doing. So, Philly, I am excited. I am not viewing this as a trap. In fact, I am viewing this as an opportunity to take San Jose behind the woodshed at BMO Stadium, where we have been defending the bank as well as ever.
Yeah, look, 45 goals that they've allowed. Nobody's allowed that many more goals in Major League Soccer. Nobody's even really gotten that close in the East. The only team that's gotten that close for allowing that many goals in the West is Sporting Kansas City. What's going on with Peter Vermees and his squad? Oh, wait, they get hot at the end of the season. That's right. And it's still, about halftime. All right, all this chatter, all this banter, let's just get in to our players to watch. Scarf. Let's
Yes,
open
sir.
and load this. Boom. There we go. Excellent. Yes, we saw Scarf shaking and talking to Ilya's hand too. That was pretty darn cool. What did you
Yeah,
say to
no,
Scarf? I mean, sorry.
dude,
What did
I'm
Scarf
Scarf.
say to Ilya?
I'm Scarf. No, Philly, here's the cool thing. I was doing a live shot, making fun of Ted Uncle, watching the boys practice before the game and everything, right? And then I thought all the guys had gone back to the locker room, and I pan over, and all of a sudden, Ilya is like 5 feet away, and he's just like, hey, just want to say thanks for coming, man. We love seeing you here. Good. And I was like, good luck, Ilya. Thanks for coming. And then after the game, he came back over. He did, all right, I'll see you on Saturday. Like, we had a good moment. Ilya stopped and did like the whole selfie thing for like 27 different people down there. I think one of the reasons he came over to me is because I wasn't going to ask him for anything. He could just like hang out for a minute and breathe. But like, it was so cool to see Ilya after the match. It's still raining. It's pouring out there after the match, and he's going by. And it didn't matter if they were in an Austin kit or if they were in an LAFC kit. He was taking selfies. He was stopping. And by the way, on the opposite side of the pitch, so was Aaron Long, so was Kai Kamara, so was Timmy Tillman over on the other side. But it was just cool, man. Ilya came all the way over. Such a good dude. In fact, now I feel bad for maybe not picking Ilya as my player to watch, but I didn't do that, Philly. Cue up the players to watch, and I am ready to roll. Look, he was a guy who we didn't think would play against us last time, and he did play and looked very good in doing so. He's got a couple of 3 goals, I believe, on the season, along with an assist. He also scored in their Open Cup loss to Sacramento Republic 4-3. So that's 4 goals if you're keeping count. Hernan Lopez is a fun player to watch. And I just think if you're going to focus on players who have not done it yet against LAFC, because I have a feeling Philly is going to talk about one of 2 players who have absolutely done it over and over and over again to LAFC. I want to watch Hernan Lopez. He's got that little bit of sizzle. He's got that little bit of wiggle that is fun to watch out there on a soccer pitch. I'm going with Hernan Lopez and Philly. I mean, what better of a setting than to break the record against the team that Landon Donovan is best known for playing with? Former Earthquakes legend Landon Donovan will see his record go down against his old club, the Earthquakes, at home in front of the chorus of the faithful of the black and gold, 22,000 strong. And yes, it will absolutely be another dunk on one of those guys playing on the back line for San Jose. What better setting, what better team to do it against than Kai Kamara scoring the next goal that puts him ahead of Landon against the Earthquakes?
You would think that I would go with Denny Bouanga, because that's always a safe bet for me. But let's start off with who I picked for San Jose. Dude, Christian Espinosa. Him and Jeremy Abobasi, if you look at like the amount of games that they played in consecutively for San Jose, very respectable, I should say. I mean, Christian Espinosa's competed in 93 games consecutively. For them, Jeremy Abobasi, 92. So these guys are Ironmen and workhorses, no question about that. Christian Espinosa also has a lot of other interesting factors to him. He's got 13 career-winning goals. His latest assist in the most recent outing, it was his 9th of the season. He's now extended his all-time club assist record to 66. And also, Christian Espinosa sits 5th for most goals in San Jose Earthquake history at 31. And by the way, that's just he just won behind Jeremy Abobasi. Christian Espinosa is a wonderful player to watch and somebody who's always given us a bit of a problem. In fact, Christian Espinosa scored against us in the game at Levi Stadium. I feel like any time that we play against San Jose, Christian Espinosa's name is always in there. It's always mentioned. He is a problem, but a very fun player to watch. A player that if he was on our team, he would be so loved just because he's just such a talented kid. I like watching Christian Espinosa play. He pretty much is, as you would say, the straw that stirs the drink. For LAFC, the straw that stirs the drink clearly is Denny Bouanga. But like you, and I didn't do this on purpose, I chose Kai Kamara. To me, like when a striker gets his goal, I think you just open up the floodgates for more goals. Like you, I want to see the same damn thing. Him pass Landon Donovan in front of all of us at BMO Stadium. He's currently sitting at 145. If you're wondering where he sits on the all-time list, Chris Wondolowski is at 171. That's a 26 goal difference. That's not happening anytime soon. If it does, then there's nobody's going to beat us. We're going to blow everybody out of the water if Kai Kamara can go on this kind of a streak. I know the soccer gods are hearing me. I'm not asking for 26 goals. I'm more asking for a win for Romania against Belgium tomorrow. That's why I'm wearing this jersey. But one other thing really quickly to know defenders. San Jose does have a claim on Kai Kamara as well. Back in 2008, he played 12 games for them, scoring 2 goals. So he's already halfway there with LAFC. But just the way he competes, his professionalism, his excitement, now that he's tied the record, he's off the schneid. He's got 2 goals for LAFC, one in the U.S. Open Cup against the Lights, one in the previous match against Orlando City. I, too, think he's going to score and put that 146 goal up in front of all of us to cheer and support.
Yeah, Marlon in the chat on Twitter said that you can really feel the loss of Christian Espinoza, and I completely agree. We are Christian Espinoza, Christian Oliveira, Kike Oliveira. I completely agree that we are a different team without him taking on 1 or 2 defenders and making those long runs many, many, many times throughout the course of a match. But what we are also adjusting to is the fact that we have an aerial threat for the first time in a long time, and that is Kai Kamara. And we saw us finally able to put one on the top of his dome on back post so that we could get the goal that we have been waiting for. And I absolutely think we will do it again. Let's get to the keys to the match. And I'm excited about this one because it's simple. Avengers, assemble. Please remember what San Jose did in front of all those thousands of people, way less than they thought it was going to be, but all those thousands of people at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. Please remember that when the nation was watching, you laid an egg 3-1 against a team that was at the time one of the worst in Major League Soccer. Well, guess what? Since that loss, they have taken full control of the wooden spoon race. And there is no way that we can go out there and feel like we can't do the same to them. I'm just saying, Avengers need to assemble. LAFC needs to come out pissed off about the way that we played against San Jose last time. Take it personally. Be a little bit more physical than we were in Austin. Austin, they let in fouls. They pushed us around. They did a lot of things that we didn't like. But we need to come out there, take the bull by the horns, defend our home turf, and make sure that we remember that it was this same San Jose club who beat us 3-1 for the last time that Black and Gold have lost any competition whatsoever. Get out there and get pissed off.
Yeah, I agree. They have to play with a chip on their shoulder. And believe you me, I think they will. Last loss, we alluded to it, on May 4th against San Jose. Defend, recycle, repeat. That's my key to the game. Stick to the same exact defensive game plan that we have had all season long. We have outscored opponents significantly these past several weeks. I mean, we had a shutout streak that set a franchise record. It wasn't until that goal in Orlando that shutout streak ended. But even if you look back, yes, we might have allowed one against Austin as well. But we have been so good defensively. And granted, if you look at the stats for Orlando, we allowed 20 shots or so, but not that many of them were on target. Our defenders have done a very good job all season long, and there's been a rotating cast of defenders as well. From Omar Campos to Ryan Hollingshead, Eddie Segura got the start in the last game. I mean, we've had solid players. Maxime Chanot, when he first initially got started with LAFC, I wasn't entirely convinced. I thought he looked very much his age of 35, but he's been doing his thing. And if you looked at how he performed against France in the recent matches, I mean, he led the team in tackles for Luxembourg. So he was competing very well, and I know he's going to bring some of that back as well. Look, Steve Cherundolo, unlike Bob Bradley, was very much a defensive-minded player. Bob really wanted to go for that high scoring, but unfortunately, he would leave us exposed for people to score against us. San Jose can score goals. they also allow a boatload of goals too. So keep that in mind. All we got to do is stick to the same defensive game plan, and we will avenge that loss at Levi's Stadium.
Philly, I appreciate you spelling repeat correctly on your keys to the cave, using the old English spelling of defend, and then not sure about recycle, but it's always fun to be back here. This is just further notice, by the way, guys. Philly needs a break. Philly, you must have done, let's see, between the month of June and late May, I'm going to go with ESPN has their 30 for 30. I think Philly may have done 30 in 30, maybe 30 different podcasts and hosting and everything else. I think I'm going to go with 30 in 30 days. What do you think, Philly?
Oh man, I don't know. Last week was wild. I know I was telling you this. The last 2 weeks, I've gone every single day recording something. I've been so busy all year. I think I was doing the math. I think I've called, I don't know, from the time you and I had that first game where we called UC Riverside Soccer up until now, I think I've called close to 100 games in that span. That's a lot, not to mention the podcast between Striking Fury, between now this other project I'm doing, the Fußball Bros, doing the German Bundesliga with my buddy Tilo. Then I have the show Soccer in 60 on ABC Radio's KMET Inland Empire affiliate. I'm beat to hell, man. I clearly can't spell. I'm not with it, and I'll be the first to admit to you that I haven't been as sharp as I normally am. But yeah, the Game of Legends wiped me out. Wiped you out, I imagine, too. You called 30 plus goals in
35 goals. That was bad.
Yeah, I need a break so freaking bad. So freaking
Dude,
bad.
I'll tell you, all I wanted was to be able to call a goal for either Kaká or Ronaldinho. Got to call a couple for Ronaldinho, a hat trick at least for Kaká.
You got to call one for Sasha Vujacic, a brace.
Dude, I got to call two for Sasha. I got to use the old one for every ring he has for the Lakers. That was fun. No, that was good times, man. I had a blast. But Philly, something we think we both got right is our score prediction. I'll go first on this one. And here's what I'll be perfectly honest about. I think we're going to do to them what they did to us. Keep it plain and simple. They beat us 3-1 in their house in front of about 22,000. Well, you know what? We're going to beat them in our house 3-1 in front of about 22,000, with one of those coming from Kai Kamara. And you know what? Just because I have a feeling it's not the 16-goal hair that is Chicho Arango, who has sprinted out to a lead, that is eventually going to win this race. I'm not calling Denis Bouanga a tortoise by any stretch of the imagination, but if you're familiar with how the tortoise and the hare ends up, it's not the hare who wins that race. Denis might have started slow, but I think a Kai Kamara header and a brace from Denis. And I'm going to say this. I think we're going to see a goal contribution from Ryan Hollingshead. I have been waiting for something for Ryan Hollingshead for quite some time. Whether it's a goal or an assist, I know if I have 3 goals and I've already said 2 for Denis and 1 for Kai, I get that. That's already 3. But if Denis doesn't get 2, I'm really hoping that it would be Ryan Hollingshead to get one. That being said, I could see it being Omar Campos. I could see it Sergi Palencia making team of the week for MLS on the bench this last week. So I could see it being any of our wing defenders. But 3-1 LAFC, Kai Kamara moving into second place solo, Denis getting at least 1, if not 2.
I like it. Mendo in the chat goes, I didn't know Sasha played soccer. I didn't either until the rosters came out for that Game of Legends. He contributed a nice dime to Kaká in that game. And I think it happened reverse, if I'm not mistaken. So many goals were called. Yeah. I lost track of things. But just like you, calling a freaking Ronaldinho and Kaká goal on beIN Sports, your voice, my voice, Reimer's voice, we're all heard on beIN Sports.
Right.
Just to think what a bunch of knuckleheads who start a podcast can actually go out there and accomplish. It blows my mind. I like, you and I do have this in common where LAFC wins by 2, but I do not think this team will score on a scarf. I do not think whatsoever that San Jose will be lucky enough to score against LAFC. Our back line is going to prevent them from going anywhere. Somebody said in the chat earlier that Eddie Segura is going to shut down Christian Espinosa. Whether it be him or anybody else who's operating in that center back position, I do agree. We are getting the shutout. Kai Kamara is breaking the 145 record with 146. And what the hell? I'm going to go out on a limb and really roll the dice on this one. Danny Bouanga scores the other one.
I love it. Hey, by the way, I know this is not the Houston Dynamo podcast, but Latif Blessing has 5 goals in his last several games and has been absolutely killing it for the Houston Dynamo this month. I was really happy to see Latif Blessing playing so well. That's your Latif Blessing moment, apparently, for one more sleep.
Mahala scored for Montreal on Wednesday. I got home. I started working out a little bit. And as I was working out, I saw Mahala score a goal. So he's doing his thing in Montreal. Too bad Montreal's not giving him the love back. Not the fans, not the team. I just mean the performance of the team.
Yeah, no, he hasn't played as well this season either. But I was happy to see Latif. Philly, Latif hadn't scored since 2021 with us. It's all those years. 22 he didn't score. 23 he didn't score. And went a while in 2024 without scoring. But that's another one, Philly. Latif pulled a Kike Espinoza or Kike Oliveira. Jesus, it's the second time I've done it. When Kike scored that goal in the Open Cup, that kind of opened the floodgates for Kike Oliveira this season. Latif Blessing scored in their Open Cup loss, and then it really kind of opened the floodgates for him. Congrats to Latif, the star man playing somewhere in Houston. I don't know where he's playing now, on the right, left, doesn't matter. Either way, Philly has 2-0. Philly is a little bit stronger on the defense than I am. I have 3-1. What we're also sure of, defenders, supporters of LAFC, the black and gold faithful, it's going to be hot as all get out tomorrow. It is supposed to be warm. Please remember to stay hydrated during pregame festivities. Whatever it is you choose to do, whether it's, hanging out on Christmas Tree Lane, which we would love to hang out with everybody there on Christmas Tree Lane, or whether it's anything else that you're doing pregame, it's supposed to get pretty warm tomorrow in downtown. So please make sure that you guys are making sure to stay hydrated. Please, please, please.
Yeah. Roberto Hernandez, sorry to hear about your nephew. Hope everything works out. I'm sorry to hear that. That breaks my heart, actually.
Yeah, if anybody, and apparently Roberto has 3 tickets in section 127. Hit up Roberto. But Roberto, we're sending prayers up for your nephew, my man. That's,
absolutely.
Nothing but the best. So Philly has 2-0. I have 3-1. And Philly and I are actually going to get to hang out tomorrow. It's going to be really nice. We'll be there at Christmas Tree Lane. Philly will get there a little bit later, I think, right? You got some stuff to take care of in the morning.
Yeah, I got a 7 a.m. flight on Sunday, so I got to get my packing done. I got to organize the house. I got a million things to do, and you get the responsibility to take care of Defenders, social media, and podcasts. What's up?
That's going to be interesting because I'm terrible at everything that isn't Twitter on social media, but I'll do my best. Philly, who's watching the Gremlins?
Oh, as always, the neighbors who that always stay with us. Leslie and Daniel, Why, are you volunteering?
No, sir. I just wanted to make sure they were taken care of.
Oh, I don't plan anything unless I know the Gremlins can be taken care of.
I love that. All right, you guys, look, we've done this for like 30 plus minutes or so. Fun fact, Lawndale, where I live, my neighborhood, is scheduled to have a power outage at 9:00. Thank you, SoCal Edison.
Power outage.
It's because they're going to be working on something outside. So like from 9 to 5 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to have no power. So
from 9 to 5 a.m.?
Yeah, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. You know how it comes back around to 5
What are you going to do?
So I'm going to sleep. I'm exhausted, my friend.
Wait, so in 6 minutes they're shutting off your lights?
Correct.
Oh, this would be interesting. Let's stay on for 6 more minutes and see how this works.
The most riveting podcast or pregame show in history. Everybody in the chat, you guys are amazing. We love you. We've been a little off the rails this time, but you know what? That's because we miss each other. That's what you get when you get me and not Hello Kitty on the podcast. So there you go. Philly, don't you dare. Either way.
No, she had enough love. I don't want to overextend her welcome.
Yeah, that was the very first time you brought her on was already overextended, but that's fine. All right, guys, Philly has 2-0. I have 3-1. He's wearing a Romania kit. I'm wearing the Kick Childhood Cancer kit, warm-up top from a couple of seasons ago. My Italians already lost 1-0. Hey, I'll say this about our loss to Italy, Philly, our loss to Spain. It was only 1-0. It looked a lot worse. It could have been way worse. So we'll take it.
The Euros have been fun, but England has been just so boring to watch. France has not been great. Germany's been killing it though. Let's go Deutschland. And I was just utterly surprised that Romania beat the Ukraine the way they did. With the form that Belgium has, I would love to see a upset. Do I think it'll happen? No, but this is my offering to the soccer gods. I don't know what it is I'm offering, but it's my hey, soccer gods, let the sun shine on Romania.
Real quick too, before we sign up, I just want to say thank you to both Jonathan Reimer and Chris Lafferty, not to Hello Kitty, for helping to fill in over this last week or so. Love you guys so much. And Philly, let's play our cool outro music.
Yeah, let me just find it first. God, I can't wait to take a break. Frischen,
Segue.
there it is.